Hello and welcome to ESM. In this video we will learn how to add a terrain model on our map. This will allow us to see the z-coordinate on the map and visualize the terrain of the area we are interested in. Let us continue with the map we already made in the previous video. On the bottom of the map, we can see that the z-coordinate is at 0 as we move the cursor around. That means that we don't have any information regarding the terrain. So to add a terrain model, first, we have to set our default coordinates to the project. To do that, we need to set the map window to a desired location and note down the coordinates. If our area of interest is here, we can choose the area just by zooming in with the mouse wheel or the zoom tool. On the bottom of the window, we can see coordinates of the pointer, but we need coordinates for min x and max x and also min y and max y. In simple terms, we are going to tell ESM about the area we are interested in. So, the easiest way to see the coordinates of the screen is by right-clicking on the map and choosing Export. Here we can see the coordinates of our map window. We note them down and press Close. Then we go to the Project drop-down menu on the top left corner and click on Defaults. Here we can write the 4 coordinates we noted earlier and click OK. Note that the default coordinates should be set only for the area of interest, as these coordinates will defy our interpolations, 2D and 3D scenes, etc. Now we can import a terrain model. We do this by left-clicking on Add Online Data from the Data Manager window. Here we find a lot of choices, but in this case, we choose a terrain model for Denmark, and we click OK. On the screen we can see a LiDAR scan of the surface of Denmark. We will use this scan as a 2D grid for our terrain model. To do this, we go to our Data Manager window and double-click on the terrain model. On the pop-up window, we navigate to the bottom left corner and click on Actions, and we select Export Grid. On the pop-up window we can see a little window with a blue highlight. This indicates the area of our export. Right below, we can also insert the coordinates manually and refresh the preview. On the bottom we see spacing settings. This shows the size of every pixel from the scan. Right now it is 0.4 meters. We can manually increase that number, but by doing so we will lose the detail of the terrain model. This is usually done in projects that have huge areas to decrease the amount of computing power needed to load the model. Let's set the destination for our grid. It is important that we save the 2D grid on the export folder in the project location. So, we prevent future errors or loss of data. After that we click Save. And then Export. Click OK and close the windows. At this point we can close the terrain map of Denmark in the Layer Manager tool. Next, on the project location we go to the Export folder and drag the terrain grid file to the project. We can see that the map window changed, but we can disable that by going to the Layer Manager again and deselecting the terrain grid. To activate the terrain model on the project we go to the Data Manager on the left-hand side and extend the 2D grid drop-down. Here we double-click on the terrain grid. On the bottom of the pop-up window, we see a section called Project Grid Type. We select Terrain and click OK. We see that the terrain grid model is now highlighted green, indicating that this specific 2D grid is activated as a terrain model. If you followed all of the steps correctly, you should see the z-coordinate at the bottom of the map window when the cursor is moving. That means that we applied the terrain grid correctly. Thank you for watching this video on how to add a terrain model. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us.